she's like, you wanna know who your dad is? I'm like, yeah. So I ran to the kitchen as fast as I could. She said, he's in the kitchen. Ran to the kitchen as fast as I could and looked around. All I seen was my big brother, and I'm like, man, this nigga ain't in there. So I ran back and ran back to her room, and I'm like, yo, ain't nobody in there but, you know, my brother. She's like, well, you know, that's him.
This is Larese. Take one, camera A, Mark.
Today's one of those days that you just feel open enough to share. Share my journey in a sense of where I come from, why I think the way I think, why I am the way I am. And through the years, it's just been a lot of phases with certain truths. And with the truths, it made me who I am. All right, this series is, I said, ooh.
Take your time, brother.
The reason why this episode is called Brother Dad is because my brother is my dad. My brother dad. I'm comfortable enough to make jokes about it now. All my life has just been a part of me. And I used to be, like I said, this is something that I used to be afraid to talk about. I was ashamed of. And then, you know, through some therapy, through life and different phases, you realize what the truth is. And I just walked through the door and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. We was always on punishment. It was always on, I'm not too sure what it was, but, you know, I could see how it was a lot for one person, especially a woman. But I also feel like, not to sound like a victim, but, you know, I just don't feel like it was fair. It was times, I feel like the most craziest traumatic time was when I was waking up and I would see my adopted brothers tied to a bed. And we used to have these hold down beatings. And the beatings was like pretty intense. You know, one brother hold the feet, one brother hold the legs. Hold the hands. And my mom would sit down in the bed and beat her ass with this 2x4 paddle. And I had this older brother who he could draw really well. And he drew the Punisher on that shit one day. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? At the time, I had no idea what the fuck the Punisher was, this Marvel character. And he drew the skull and he drew the face, and I'm like, why would you be drawing on the shit we about to get our ass beat? But it took me till I was 25 to really understand, you know, what that was. And what that shit did to them. And I feel bad for him because, especially the one that drew on the paddle. Because I feel like she definitely broke his spirit with the lack of knowledge, the presence of ignorance. I don't know, I think it's something, you know, don't be wrong, we had good times too. But it's very little good times than it was bad times. Like I said, we were always on punishment. So my mom used to work at a state school, and at night she would come back and she would be in her bed and she would have my brother dad come get me, and I would be in the bed, and this one particular night, I'm not too sure how we got to it, but she's like, you want to know who your dad is? I'm like, yeah. So I ran to the kitchen as fast as I could. She said, he's in the kitchen. Ran to the kitchen as fast as I could and looked around. All I seen was my big brother, and I'm like, man, this nigga ain't in there. So I ran back and ran back to her room. And I'm like, yo, ain't nobody in there but, my brother. She's like, well, that's him. It's not really in a sense of incest, it's in a sense of my mom adopted a son and had kids with him. She had 3 kids with him. And I was one of the kids. I was one of the product of that decision. And I found out, I've known this since I was 5 years old. With that said, as far as going back to, like the relationship with my brother dad, it's always been the brother dynamic. It has never been like the father dynamic.
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
So today in present time, what do you call him? Your brother or your dad?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I fuck with him. I call him brother dad just to be funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that's just where I am in my mind. Like, we'll laugh about it, but I could tell like it may have a slight like, you know what I'm saying? But even with my cause I have like I said, I have another set of brothers and sisters, a brother and sister, that actually just found out a few years ago. So, when they found out, like this has been like a family secret for a long time, and but it wasn't a secret to the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? This was shit I used to get picked on about. Yeah, I remember the first time that it was brought to my attention that the neighborhood knew was when I was in the 7th grade. And I was in Miss Pesolano class. Science, she was my science teacher. And I was sitting at this table full of students, peers, whatever. And he was like, yo, I heard your mom fucked your brother and that's how you got here, nigga. And everybody went around the room saying, yo, I heard that shit too. And I was like, man, y'all niggas is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just deflecting, because I don't really want to put it out there.
You grew up in a small town where
Oh, yeah.
it was easy for the family secret to come out.
Yeah. It was, you know what it was? Like I said, it was just, the secret walked around everybody but us. Even though we knew what it was, it was just there.
Go back to your brother dad. What was him and your mother relationship like in front of you?
Yeah, it's even to this day, it's still a mom and son dynamic, even after the kids. It sounds crazy, but yeah, even to this day, it's a mom thing. But the thing is, my brother was also, where he comes from, he came from a fucked up situation too, which I can understand the way he thinks, from like just reading the rap sheet, because my mom used to do like a lot of foster care as well, but reading the rap sheet on the shit that he did, or where he comes from, whether it was him being put in the closet for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, cigarette butts up his arm, consuming feces, like it was pretty intense. But when he got to my mom's house, it was a little bit more different. It was from home to home. His mom had, his dad had went to jail, his brothers had went to jail, which I don't even know those things. I couldn't even put a face to them. understood, like, okay, you know, because even now, you know, he can barely read or write. And I feel like, of course, that shit affects him. But I think he's so far a victim, he doesn't even realize how a victim he is.
At what age did your mom adopt him?
I'm assuming like he was like 12, 13. Yeah.
Are you the oldest of the 3 kids?
Of the 6 siblings from him, yeah.
Excuse me, I thought it was 3 from brother dad.
It's 6 of us all together, but he's just, so it's like 3 and 3, 3 from each, yeah. So it's me, then it's my younger twin brothers, then it's my sister, then his other twins, the other set of twins.
Something I always admired about you is you as a dad. I grew so much respect for you when I seen you with your kids, and I always knew it was something up because of how protective you was around them. I seen how you loved them, how much you cherished being around them, and I'm the same way. You read my book, and one of the reasons you asked to do this was because of my book, and I appreciate you for that. I know sometimes trauma and the things we go through can break us as parents, or and vice versa, it can make us better. One of the interesting things about your story and your circumstances that you have small kids, and I want to know what their relationship is going to be like with brother dad. Will he be known as uncle or grandpa to your kids?
It's grand unc right there. No. So my kids has only met him maybe like once or twice. I can't say, not that there isn't a relationship, but technically there's really, it's not enough even for them to say, maybe my daughter, maybe say, oh, I remember him, you know. And that's just being honest. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's just a situation that, you know, I'll live up here. They're 100 something, you know what I'm saying, 180 miles away. So, you know, who's to say whenever they see it. I only come down on the holidays anyway. And, you know, after this interview, it's gonna be a while. So,
Let's stay there though.
yeah.
We talk a lot, bro. And my next question to you is, why here? Why now? Why with me? Why with the world? Your resume speaks for itself. Law and Order, Ruffles, the face of Friendlies, Super Bowl commercials. You was on the first episode of Could Have Been Records, PJ Reed, Pastor Jones, millions of views. I see your photography, the amazing stuff you're doing in the community, substitute teaching for kids in the Bronx. I think about all these things and I think about why you want to tell your story right now.
You know what? I feel like it's because of a multitude of things. I feel like it's because of my kids. If we're gonna start with my kids, I feel like living in truth, who can stop you? Nobody. Your truth is your truth. You're gonna hit me with something that you know, that I'm already aware of, and I probably already heard it 1,000 times. So I believe in that. I believe in integrity. Like I said, I believe in being checked. I'm okay with being checked. I'm okay with being a checker. Even with the kids that I work with, listen to their stories. And I'm like, damn, man, who am I? Some of their stories is pretty insane. Sometimes they share with me. I'm not even supposed to know some of this stuff, but sometimes, hey, don't talk to him because, you know, his dad was, you know, killed himself right in front of him, or his mom molested his, you know what I'm saying? I hear all these things all the time. And here I am, the guy on TV that shows up to the school, and they wondering, wow, Mr. King, how did you do that? How did you? Hey, I'm no different from you. I have secrets just like you. Family secrets. I have things that feel embarrassing. It's a humane thing. I don't think you should put under any categories. I just feel like, just being okay with yourself. And then, like I said, I got to the point where I can make fun of it. Most of the time I'm laughing about it, coming up with the craziest, craziest jokes about it. So I think even for someone, when, initially just hearing it, you can be like, hold on, what the did you just say? And then it turns into, oh, okay, wow, you turned this into something else. You turned a bad situation into a good situation. Even though it's a terrible thing, but I don't. I'm not embarrassed anymore. I'm not. I'm good. I'm good with who I am. So I think for me to come and tell you guys this, I think it's just like a testament to, if there's someone out there and you feel like, man, I feel small because of my situations, or because of being a product of a situation, like myself, you can come from anything, and I feel like it's okay. When you're ready to share it, you share. I never thought in a million years that I would be comfortable enough to share this. But then after reading your book, seeing where you come from, and we had parents that was on drugs, and then you overcame it all, and now you help people. I'm like, man, it sounds similar to what to my life. So your comfortability shape-shift my comfortability, and that's why I'm here sitting in this chair today.
Well, I appreciate that. But on the flip side, one of the things that me and you talk a lot about off camera is that if we don't tell our story, they're gonna tell it for us. Too many times in this world, the media take over our narratives, and our issues and our abusers look stronger than they are when they're allowed to continue to abuse with no repercussions, and when we don't take back our stories. I think we're actually more special and we are more amazing by telling kids and all people that despite what blogs may say, despite how many followers we have, despite what issues we face, despite if you're white, black, trans, gay, straight, that we all face issues. And that is on us to tell it. I think in a world where there's so much hate, we have to continue to tell the truth and uplift each other. And we have to use our stories and pain and make sure that they are seen and heard, and give other people the courage to come out and tell theirs. But I gotta be honest, brother. There's a reality to that. And the reality is, me or you can't control the comments, the opinions, the naysayers. Your mom is alive. Your brother dad is alive. And also it's important to note, man, that your siblings will see this. And now they have to face something, whether they're ready or not, because you decided to tell this story. You came to me and asked me how I was able to do it. And I told you it set me free. But also, I did speak to my family and let them know this was gonna happen before it happened. I want you to take the audience through, did you do the same? And I also want you to take the audience through, if having these conversations with your family and letting your family know that you want to be released of all these issues you're having, did it affect your mental health in any way?
Pretty much the same thing. I believe in showing the respect. So when I first came to the conclusion that I was going to do this, I went to them. And of course, I can understand it's been a family secrets. Family secrets. If you're the whistleblower in the family secret, and of course, you're looked at as the black sheep. And from my circumstances, I've always been the black sheep. At least that's the way I've looked at it. And for me, knowing where I'm going in the position that I'm in, I've seen this all before, in the sense of the moment you become somebody, they come out this closet with your darkness. And I'm like, you know what? Take the darkness. Take my lives, take my darkness, take the vulnerability. I'm totally fine with it. When I leave here, I'd rather leave with everything. I don't want to put my kids through the same secrets, them not knowing their family history. No, I'm good off that. If I'm going to be the catalyst, they do it all by myself, I'll do it. I'll be the first in my generation to break the generational secrets that has kept this family in festive shit. Was it tough? Yeah, absolutely. I went back with myself, looked in the mirror, faced all types of scrutiny, comments, even from my own family. But there's also a lot of lines in the sand of where people stand with this. I just take it for what it is. No matter where you stand in the sand, I know where I am. And yeah, I'll be damned if someone else take my story and shove it out and put their own spin on it. Which is, it's just a human thing to do. Everyone wants to be their own entity and come up with their own facets, right? So I feel like, no, I'll be the leader in my own truth.
I can respect that. And I want to give you a shout out in particular, because you the one who called me and put the battery in my back to even create this. I always dream and I think about how I'm going to expand my legacy and what my story is going to be like when it's all said and done. And for you to tell me to get behind the camera and the impact and the power that my book is having on people's lives without me realizing it was a real monumental moment for me. And the fact that you and so many others just feel comfortable telling me their story, telling me their pain, and sharing it with the world, I'm in debt to all of you. So I just want to say that from now on, I want you a part of this. You're going to be a producer on this show. We're going to allow people to push their stories out and their narratives in their own way, on their own time together. We're going to make people feel comfortable and empowered. No one will be asked to be on this platform. I don't care how many followers you got, how many likes you got. If you have a story and you need to get it out, and this is healing for you, this brand is the place to be. And I thank you, brother. Really, really thank you for giving me the courage to even do this or create something like this.
I'm sorry. I don't even really want to take full credit for that. I want to give most of that credit to Monty Bruno. It's a huge weight off my shoulders. I feel like the first time my youngest brothers, once they brought it to my attention that they were aware, and they wanted to ask me for clarification. Once I gave them that information, it was a relief off my chest. Then I didn't even know it was there. It was like some sort of press machine that just like released. And I was like, damn, what the fuck is that? Even though I saw what it did to them in the beginning, I feel like just men are just a little bit more non-emotional. We started laughing immediately because he was like, yo, he's like, yo, what do I call you? I was like, bro, and then my niece, that's nieces, you know what I'm saying? It's not plural, but nah, nah, man. All in all, we sound like the blackest white hillbillies ever. It sounds like a thing full of incest, but I feel like as more and more people in the family found out that it was, like I said, it was a weight off my shoulders. It was something I didn't have to carry. Like I said, I was 5 years old with this information.
Even when you feel like I have got over that hump, I have got over that hurdle, that this shit still follows you, man. Sometimes it follows you with the decisions you make. The partner you choose, the friends you choose, all these different choices that we have to wake up and make. And sometimes we are a reflection of the people who raised us, and we carry their DNA. Do you feel like in your personal relationships and your love life that your trauma or your mom or your brother, dad has influenced some of these decisions?
Absolutely. I feel like, that saying, you grow up to marry your mom, or or in the female, they grow up to marry their dads. I will say, yes, it does. Growing up in a household like that with a lot of manipulation under one roof, the way I see it, it was a lot of moms that grew up in an era of single motherhood. And what that did was, it didn't allow you to be that single piece on the chessboard. You were two pieces. You were the queen and you were the king. Your mom would always say, I'm your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, and I'm like, damn, that's a lot. That's a lot of people you're trying to be for me, but you can only truly be one. Because if you try to be two pieces, the game is gonna fuck up. It just doesn't work like that. So I feel like with that said, I guess you try to look for that person that could be everything. Your mother, your brother, your father, your sister, and it creates this weird dynamic in your head. Like, damn, you start asking, like, damn, I got mommy issues and daddy issues? But for me, I hold this thing in my head, even with my kids' integrity. Right from wrong. Right or wrong, integrity is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. And I feel like if you got a moral compass, it can help navigate you, to where you need to be, because you're gonna do the right, you're gonna choose the right thing. What is the right thing? And I think everyone has that voice inside their head. It's like, oh man, am I gonna listen to it or am I not? There's still times I ignore it.
What does love mean to you presently?
Love is a choice. Love. I don't look at love as I used to. It's contradicting. I used to look at love as an emotion, but I guess that's the part of me that grew up. It's an emotion because you can, like my mom. She did something fucked up, but I still love her. She's still my mom. Your brother went and, I'm just saying, killed someone. You still love him, that's your brother. It's a choice, it's not, I don't love him no more, he killed someone. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it don't work like that.
Crazy how trauma in life works, right?
Yeah, but I feel the dotted line is just knowing what, wrong is right. Yeah, excuse me, knowing right from wrong. And just navigating in that space alone can put you in the right mindset.
It's crazy because when you vent or you call the person out who did this action, 99% of the time they get frustrated. They start to put the blame on you. And it's like, yo, you played the part in this. Like, how are you mad for what you did to me and for me expressing it in this way? And sometimes I had to learn not to take it personal, because I really feel like a lot of people who abuse people really tend to think that wrong is right sometimes. And I think society tends to play a part in this too. You see people clipping things and trying to do whatever for that viral moment and creating content that's harsh, whether if it abuse people, whether if it embarrass people. There's no type of emotion or how do I care about your well-being or your mental health when I make these choices? And I think that sometimes us as a society have to sit back with some of these things and really think about how we show up for people, how we love people. What am I gonna type here in the moment, knowing that this person have access to read this, or that they're gonna process this, or that they're still going through this battle, even if they're sharing it. And I think again, man, like, I just commend you for being brave enough to deal with the repercussions that come with sharing your story and to release this pain. Because again, we don't know how the world is gonna take this if people do show up and view this and actually give it some time.
No more shackles. No more shackles. And I'm good with that. And I think my kids will be proud of that. I think, at some point parents, and this is something I even tell myself too, you gotta remember, your kids are your kids, but they're not yours. They're the world's. These are people who's gonna be in society with their own set of rules, own set of mind. And you're just a piece of that who painted on their canvas. So I don't hold them like a possession. Like, I'm a coach. At some point, the kids got to graduate, and then here comes the next set. Here comes the next set of kids. Not saying I'm about to have more kids, but I'm just saying. I mean, hey, but no, but that's the best way to look at it. You teach them all you can teach them, and then they graduate, and then in life they gain mentors, new coaches. You know what I'm saying? New set of friends, even life's a coach. It's its own coach. So you just go through different ones.
I think it's beautiful how you put that.
Yeah.
With that, I got one last question.
I got one last answer.
For your kids, what's one lesson you want them to take from you being vulnerable? Not the story in total, but from you being vulnerable today.
Be yourself no matter what. Be comfortable with who you are. Be okay with someone else being themselves. I feel like it's a lot of people that, and I've been, even myself, I had to learn this too. You can't control anyone else, even the way they think. This is, the way they are is the way they are. Love them as they are. Yeah, no matter what. And never, of course, cliche, but seriously, you gotta have resilience, never give up. Because because I feel like that's what brought me to where I am now. Had I given up, had I never moved from southern New Jersey and started this life of being an entertainer, I feel like me being in my truth made me a better actor. Because I know how far I can go with it. I know who I am, and with that I can give you a real illustration of certain characters that are already within me. With that much comfortability, you just dive right in. So, yeah, be happy with yourself. Keep integrity close to you, and know who you are.
Larese King, ladies and gentlemen.